You're listening to Nelkon Unscripted, the podcast where we ditch the script and dive deep into the things that actually matter in life. I'm your host, Nelkon, and here, it's all about honest conversations, real reflections, and unpacking the stories and struggles that shape us. Coming up now is a special segment we call the Deep Dive, a space where we push past the surface and explore the heart of the issue. No filters, no fluff, just real talk. And today, we're joined by the anonymous duo. Two voices, no names, just truth. Raw, unfiltered, and willing to go there. The topic? The art of receiving feedback. How do you hold space for critique without letting it crush you? How do you grow without losing yourself? This one's for anyone who's ever been told it could be better and then felt it in their gut. Let's get into it, and I'll be back to share my thoughts with you.
Okay, so you shared this piece, The Art of Receiving Feedback. Interesting title.
Yeah.
Suggests it's something you actually practice, a skill.
Yeah, exactly.
So for this deep dive, we really want to just cut to the chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give everyone the core ideas on how to get better at taking feedback, and why it actually matters for, growing and understanding stuff better.
Right. Because it's kind of funny, we get feedback constantly, don't we? But most of us aren't really that great at, absorbing it. We might just shut down or get, defensive. So yeah, the goal here is to give you some things you can actually use to really hear it and hopefully benefit from it.
Okay, so why call it an art then? What makes receiving feedback different from just, hearing someone talk?
Well, I think the art part comes in because it asks us to manage our first reaction, that gut feeling, especially if it's criticism.
Oh yeah, defensiveness.
Exactly that. The art is about consciously stepping back, creating a bit of space to really understand it instead of just firing back. So for you listening, it means hitting pause internally.
Okay, pausing, not just reacting instantly. So what are some practical ways you can actually do that? How do you build that pause in?
The material suggests it's, partly about mindset, but practically it's about listening actively, really listening, and then asking questions to clarify.
Clarify? Like what?
Like, don't just nod along if you're confused or disagree. Ask for specifics. You could say something like, okay, can you give me an example of when you saw that? Or maybe, what impact did you see that having?
Oh, okay.
It shows you're actually trying to get it, not just dismiss it, and it helps you understand what they really mean.
That seems crucial. Getting past the delivery, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes feedback isn't delivered perfectly, but there might still be something useful in there. Mm-hmm. How do we, as the receiver, kind of take charge of finding that?
Yeah, that's a big one. And a key part of that is knowing your own triggers. Like, what specific kinds of comments tend to set you off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you know your patterns, you can sort of catch yourself, manage that emotional flare-up a bit better. Remind yourself, okay, the point here isn't to win this conversation. It's about learning something. It ties into that whole growth mindset idea, right? Seeing challenges, including tough feedback, as chances to improve.
Right. But it can feel really personal sometimes. Feedback often lands like a judgment.
Huh?
How can you actually manage those feelings and keep focused on, development?
It really comes down to self-awareness again. Maybe think back. When have you gotten feedback before? How did you react? What were those go-to defensive moves?
Ooh, okay.
Once you see them, you can start consciously trying something different. It's almost like training yourself to see it less as an attack and more like valuable intel from the outside, a chance to see blind spots you just can't see on your own.
So we kind of need to train ourselves to view feedback as a gift, even if the wrapping paper is, let's say, less than ideal.
Precisely. That's a good way to put it. It gives you perspectives you literally can't get otherwise. People see how we operate in ways we just don't. So really understanding it, it gives you a kind of roadmap for where you could improve.
So tying this all together for everyone listening.
Yeah.
This art, it's not just theoretical fluff, it's a real skill. Yeah. And it directly affects your path forward.
Yeah.
By doing these things, pausing, asking those clarifying questions like, what did you observe specifically? Focusing on the message itself, you're basically unlocking this really powerful tool for your own evolution.
Couldn't agree more. And, think about just day-to-day conversations. How often Are we truly present when someone's offering us their thoughts? It kind of raises a question for you, the listener. How often are you listening just to understand versus, already planning what you're going to say back?
Fair point.
That shift, focusing on comprehension first, that's a huge part of the art of receiving feedback.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive then, the main thing we want you to take away is pretty straightforward. Feedback, when you learn how to receive it well, is just this incredibly powerful catalyst for your own learning and growth.
Absolutely.
Welcome back from the deep dive segment. Whew, that one hits close to home, doesn't it? I mean, we've all been there. You pour yourself into something you care about, only to hear, it could be better, or the dreaded, yeah, it didn't really work for me. And in that moment, your chest tightens, your mind races. Because let's be real, most of us were never taught how to receive feedback. We just kind of fumble our way through it, getting defensive, brushing it off, or replaying it over and over in our heads. But here's the thing. Feedback isn't always an attack. Sometimes it's just a mirror. And while the reflection may sting, it can also help us see what we couldn't on our own. Learning to receive feedback without ego, to ask, what can I learn? Instead of, who do they think they are? That's the real work. And it's not easy, but that's where growth lives, just outside the comfort zone. So if you've been feeling stuck or second-guessing yourself after some tough words, breathe, reflect, take what serves you, leave what doesn't. And remember, your work is not your worth, but with the right mindset, both can evolve. Now, before we wrap up, here's something to keep in mind. Nelkon isn't just a podcast. It's also a media communication and public relations organization driven by development. So whether you're launching a product, building your public image, or scaling your brand, Nell Consulting can help amplify your voice and elevate your presence with strategy, style, and results that speak. Send a message now to book your free clarity session. Let's build something that not only sounds good, but feels right. Until next time, I'm Nelkon, and this has been Unscripted.